Welcome to Ascending Soul's Journey. I am Lori Ann. I'm so excited you guys are here. We're talking about from fear to transformation. And joining me today is a good friend of mine. Her name is Diane Hagopian. She also is in the ministry along with me. She is a reverend. She too is an intuitive and owns her own life business. So welcome, Diane. I'm so happy to have you on my show. I'm truly honored to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, it's so exciting to find out, I'm going through some difficulties, and those of you who are really intuitive, you can call, you can ask, and whatever you're asking for will be given to you. And I'm asking, and all of a sudden, she thing up. She contacted me. We started talking, and that is one of the beautiful things that happens when we really tap into our higher self, into God and the universe itself. So it was a miracle. Okay, and that's what we see those as, is a little bit of a miracle. So I invited her on to talk about the fear of the collective. Okay, what's going on in the world and the changes. And Diane, you are just incredible. I'd love, before we even begin the segment, to talk about you just a little bit.
Sure. Yes. So I am an intuitive as well. I've known that since I was a young child, having dreams and just knowing things before they happen. I never really felt like I had a place to talk about it. So that's why I'm really loving YouTube, because when I was on my journey, I did not have this kind of these resources, these people to hear their stories too, to hear about synchronicities and miracles and intuitive experiences that science seemingly couldn't explain. And so, yeah, I grew up being aware of that side of life and that side of myself. And I ended up pairing that with other expertise. My big passion is education. And so I founded a company called Hoist Point that offers courses and coaching to fill the gaps in education. But generally, yes, I've noticed that the collective is under a lot of stress, fear, and I figured this is a great time to transition into a different kind of activism. And helping the world transmute. So that's a little bit about me. That's where I'm at the moment, is just trying to help raise the vibe. And so I'm so glad that we connected. I'm really excited for all the topics that are upcoming.
Yes, absolutely. And again, she's a delightful person, and she does what I do for you guys. Okay, she is an intuitive, so obviously if you want that service, because mine are ending, but you can certainly reach out to her or book one with me before they're gone. But aside from that, we're really looking at fear of the collective and what we're going through in the world. The fear of the unknown, the fear of being judged, the being ridiculed. Failure is a big one. Fear of karma, okay, paying our karmic dues for those people who are really spiritually enlightened. All of these are in play right now, and it can affect the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being of a person.
Yes, definitely. I think just being well, first of all, humanity has never been exposed to this much technology before. Everywhere we turn, there's the radio, the TV, social media apps, billboards. Even when you go into the public restroom, there's ads. You really cannot even get away from it. And so that bombardment is not necessarily good for the human psyche. And I think what we're seeing is it's catching up, right? These advancements, these marketing efforts, this bombardment from all different angles is catching up with humans. And I think that's why we're seeing a mental health crisis. And so, yeah, I kind of feel this big, heavy cloud over the world, and a sense of doom almost. And that affects people on a very individual level. And it's not my mission in life. One of them is to help with that that suffering, and to help humanity see the light and have hope again. And that's why I love the idea of awakenings and miracles and intuition, because they can be such positive topics, right? And they renew your hope in just this beautiful aspect of life. I mean, as an intuitive, the things that you've encountered in your work are amazing, like fascinating to me, at least, that we are able to connect with other people this way and connect with ourselves, going into that meditative state, to release that fear. I think that's one of the first steps, to kind of resolving some of this fear that we're experiencing, altogether. But it starts with the individual.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what we mean, like fear to transformation. And that's the main topic of what we're looking at today, to raise the vibe, help overcome the fear and transmute it into something more positive. So I agree with you. Social media can be absolutely devastating. Being in the spotlight for anyone, and imagine if you were a well-known actor or actress and being in the spotlight and having people come from all different angles on how they talk to you and treat you and everything. It can alter your mental, emotional well-being, especially if you aren't used to it. So those social media platforms that everybody goes on every day, I have noticed myself, they have been imploded with positive messages. And I love that. I love that. It's a lot more high vibing energy, and that's what we really want to focus on. Is we want to set our intentions. Obviously you can't be high vibing, otherwise you might walk into a block wall and then not go in the direction that you want. So that high vibration needs to be utilized in the right way. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right. Technology, it can be a blessing and a curse. One of my favorite benefits of technology is, I don't know if you've ever gone to a meditation video on YouTube and just read the comments, but people write the nicest things to each other, to total strangers, and it will make you cry. If you're feeling really down, go find a meditation video somewhere on YouTube and just go to the comment section, because there are people that are wishing you in this world really great things. And I just think that's so sweet. So that is the one of the benefits, is that we're able to connect with other people who are also trying to raise the vibe, right? There's a lot of people out there that are doing, I don't want to say thankless work. It's not, it's rewarding in and of itself, but they're doing it because they care, right? They love other people. They know people are silently suffering, right? And we can't maybe necessarily get to each individual person, but we can put these messages out there that might reach the right person at the right time. And I think that's really special. So yes, be selective with your social media usage, but also know that there are communities out there. There are special lessons and things that you can learn and messages to receive that you wouldn't be able to receive if you weren't connected on technology and social media. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Right, absolutely. And making sure that we're in balance is a big part of it too. So as you are going through this place of fear of change, fear of growth, fear of the unknown, fear of it's doubt, and fear is not real. A lot of people base fear on things that have taken place in the past, but that is in the past, it's done, but that memory is there. And it actually leaves it can leave what I call a black mark on the soul. Okay, of scarring within us in a spiritual sense, and it blocks our energy fields. And that's why I love what I do, because I'm able to help people break through their own spiritual barriers. And then we also base fear on a projected idea, a concept of what could happen, what could be, but it's in a negative sense. Where when we transmute that from fear to positive, it can produce a whole different outcome. But that's where faith really comes in. And that's where those inspiring messages can help keep us on track of staying in that faith, in that mode of staying interconnected within our own body and not creating the separation of the mind, body, and soul. Yeah.
Yes, yes, a more integrative approach. And I think what paralyzes a lot of people, obviously it's fear, but for intuitives or people who are extra sensitive, empaths, if you will, it's easy to, I always have to remind myself, is this fear talking or is this my intuition? Making that distinction is such an art.
Yeah.
It really is an art. And it's really important, because if you just believe every thought that comes into your mind, you're going to be ruled by these rogue thoughts, right? And because we are stimulated so much by so many things around us, your subconscious can absorb these things from music, from movies, from, advertisements, right? And so you're constantly absorbing all this other energy. And if you're not conscious of it, you're not clearing it, and you're also allowing it to bombard your intuition with these fearful thoughts. So it's really
Right.
important to get balance, like you were saying, to get clear, to break through this scarring, to heal that. Even though it's something that we can't see, it's there, right? And the more we learn about wellness and health, the more we see this connection with the spiritual roots of things. And so for those out there who are like, this seems really esoteric, it's really part of the cutting edge of science when we're talking about healing. And we know that things like fear and stress can really take its toll on your body physiologically as well. So this is about healing the individual and healing the collective, and yes, not living in that impending fear state of mind, right? And doing things that help you release that and rejuvenate you, right? Life is
Yeah,
a gift.
absolutely. Yeah,
Life is a gift.
absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's incredible when you really can take that and turn it around. But we do when we are in a place of concern, when we're worried, when we're afraid, did we go the right direction? Aside from, and I'm not talking about the mental illness or anything like that, where we need to go see an actual professional in that field. There is a defined benefit by going to them. Absolutely. By going to a holistic versus a medical doctor. So when we live in fear, we can't always see the difference of what to do. That guidance is gone, the intuition is gone, because we are disconnected from our own mind, body, and soul, and we disconnect from the universe, we disconnect from God. So this is a really great way to raise the vibration. All of these things that you've said, music. Me, I love music. I will turn music on and I become like a little kid, and I dance with my dogs. I've always done that. And it really turns the whole ambiance of my entire home into something very, very different. And those positive vibes, those music can make your plants grow. It can make them flourish. Any living being. My dog can be laying around, Captain Love Bug, right? He's such a big, beautiful, loving dog. And he gets bored. He wants to play, even though he's a big, big boy. He's like 90 pounds. He wants to play like a child. He's still like a baby in his head. And so when I start singing and kind of bebopping around the house, it raises his vibrations that quick. And he's right there with me. He's happy. He's not necessarily wanting to go. It's like he's actually doing it with me. So making sure that we pick the right avenue. But equally, we have to stay in touch with what's actually happening in the world as well. So that's where, we want to pick very carefully what news media source, whether it's in reading or audio, however we're doing it, we want to make sure that we pick the right source to listen to and limit it once a week. Okay, get updated once a week, but do not focus on that. It will completely make us look to the past or in a unreal future.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yes, you're absolutely right. I think that can be paralyzing when we feel like we don't have any control about the way things are going to happen in the future, but we do. We all have agency, and so part of that, because the social media can be an addiction, right? You can want to stay off of it, right, but just be pulled back, and it's really, a lot of these apps have been designed that way to keep you coming back. And so to just be cognizant of that, and start limiting your time. And I would say, obviously, when you're on social media or when you're looking for different information, research different sources, whatever it is, get different opinions, entertain different thoughts. It's always good for growth, right? To just, I come in, meet in the middle, right? It's a meeting of minds, and we're in such a divisive time, right? So just being able to listen or open your mind to differing thoughts, right? Even when it comes to spirituality, right? A lot of people can be very pigeonholed about, this is right, and you must believe the way that I believe, or you're a bad person, and it's really can be very extreme. Or they're just closed-minded to different healing modalities, for instance, right? Maybe someone who only goes to Western medicine might not be as open to life coaching or an intuitive session or Reiki or, past life regression. But it's good to be open-minded, because what scientists are learning now, and we talked about this, intuitives knew for a while, about the healing effects of sound. I believe it's outside of, and things like that, right? Different healing modalities. I believe it's outside of, it's in Morocco. There's this little village outside of the capital city, and there are people that gather with drums, and they create a beat for people that are sick that come there, and they create a custom beat for those people to help dispel the illness from their bodies. They are trying to align the frequency, right, and eliminate the illness. And I just think that's really interesting, because people like Nikola Tesla also talked about this healing, the healing ability of sound, right? And so when we're talking about raising the vibration, sound is so important. It's probably one of the most important things, right? Is listening to things that are uplifting, that are soothing, that speak to your soul, and that elevate you in some way. Listening to rap music nonstop, probably not a good idea, but not all rap music is bad. Some of it's insightful poetry. So just pick what you listen to with, such attention, because you're absorbing all of that energy.
Right, absolutely. And it is important, because music kind of is the glue. All right. So the way I see it, for me, there are certain things. I mean, I'm a remote viewer. I look at things from all different angles. Um, Music, the tones, the beats, and everything that you were just discussing, they really do hit in certain connect our spiritual body within our human body. And that's what we want to do. We want to stay in balance right there. And when we are in balance, our confidence soars, our faith grows, and we wind up using our intuition in a positive way that actually produces these amazing results. And that's why I think music is so important. And yes, there are many things. And I do believe, although I am not, I'm not a rap listener, but there are some amazing poetries out there that fall under that category. So as long as it brings soothing in a positive way, no matter what you listen to, as long as it's soothing inside of you, it calms you down. I may like country western music, you may like classical music, and it soothes you down, but we don't like each other's music, right? As long as it soothes you in your own mind, body, and soul. So I think that's absolutely wonderful information. And, when we align inside, it helps us really glow, which is, one of the things that we've talked about is the Glow Up series that is beginning. And I'll let you talk about that, because I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are actually familiar with the idea of a glow up, but like a lot of other people out there, mostly I found out about it through women having these amazing transformations. But it's not to say that men can't have them either. They certainly can. But the glow up usually, well, the narrative is that this glow up happens after extreme pain and suffering and this inner desire to change and to be a better version of yourself. And it comes from this inner knowing that knows that you have this potential, right? That's what I like about it too, is there's an intuitive aspect to the glow up, right? And maybe we only talk about it in kind of superficial terms of makeup or clothes or whatever, but my idea of it is glowing up from the inside out, breaking through the pain that's blocking your energy, that's blocking progress, and then taking other steps. There are different levels as you go from internal to external to transform and to glow up. And so, the concept of glow up I discovered after a breakup, which I think a lot of women have, but I loved the concept, and it definitely spoke to me because I think just like you take your car into the auto shop to get a tune-up, the soul needs a tune-up. The mind, the body needs a tune-up too. And so this idea of glowing up, it's not like you necessarily need to hit rock bottom to want to glow up, but you can just say, you know what? I want more for myself, and I know that I deserve more. And I know that that's inside of me. Right. And so this idea of glowing up is kind of dusting off the dirt, the residue of everyday life, the trauma, the energy vampires, right? All of that, cutting the cords, creating boundaries, and then allowing yourself the space to blossom and to glow and to be the best version of yourself that you can be, whether it's the way you keep your home, whether it's clean and tidy and has beautiful colors and artwork and things around you that inspire you. Or maybe it's the way that you dress. Maybe it's the way that you do your hair, or you take care of your skin at night, or the music that you listen to, or the actions you take to realize the goals that you have set for yourself that maybe you pushed aside because you told yourself they were not realistic, or someone laughed at them, or whatever. All of these things that sort of chip away at who you are really meant to be is pushed aside, and you are able to make room to be this best version of yourself. And so this glow up series is talking about the different aspects of the glow up, right? From the internal work that you need to do to the external work.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about it, and it is coming soon. But one thing to point out as you go through that, because that is super exciting, we have to be ready to move forward. We have to be ready to start putting that positive energy in and lifting ourselves up. Now, we can focus and listen to all that inspirational things that we're talking about, things to get our vibes up, because that's what we're talking about, is raising our vibrations. But sometimes we have those excuse me, those barriers that are blocking us, those things that keep that fear intact. So there are methods, there are modalities, there are ways to get rid of that. One of them is the clearing out our karma. Okay, for those of you who are spiritually enlightened, karma is been used for years, for centuries. People say karma, the word karma. And some people view it as negative and some positive. But we have karmic attachments to other souls, other people, and we need to disconnect those. Sometimes the unseen attachment we have still holds inside of us because we have a soul contract with that person where we've actually established a relationship with them. You and I established a relationship to meet way back then and re-enter each other's lives at this perfect time, because you and I both had to go through all these different things to get to this point where we're talking about this today, where we're talking about glow up and this particular topic right now. Tearing up the soul contract is a big part of it, where it's like creating your own destiny. And that's where the glow up can really come in and help. So, what we've done together is put this particular, we're going to talk every week We'll pop something up here for you guys, a topic that's going to help you raise your vibration in your life. And then the Glow Up series, which is going to be great. We have other things on the agenda, and we have the karmic detaching from the, clearing your karma and tearing up that soul contract to start the new destiny. That is an event, a big event that will be working. And you're going to be joining me, right? You're going to be in that
Absolutely.
event. Yeah,
I'll be there.
wonderful. I am so excited to do that. And that is coming. So Diane, I thank you so much for being here. And I love that you and I both are, raising the vibes activists. This is the most positive thing I've ever heard as far as like being an activist, right? But it's in a beautiful, beautiful, open-hearted kindness to humanity way. And this is a really big way for us to contribute to humanity. So, Diane, I thank you for joining us, and we hope that you join us in the next segment.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to
Oh,
joining too.
you're welcome. All right, you guys, it's been absolutely wonderful to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next show. If you'd like any information on Glow Up series, this particular one that we're watching now, or clearing karma and tearing up that contract, you can look in the description box below. Have a great day. Much love and light.